Yeah, if another subby was considering Neo, I'd say to them that Neo, how successful Neo's been for me initially, and what it provides, like with the ease of scheduling and the payroll integration and ability to adapt to mine or your business or anyone's business in this industry is like, I don't think there's a competitor that matches it. Hi, I'm Laurie. I'm the director of Form Reo Pour. Myself and Rory operate a small concrete structure business. Form Reo Pour specialises in small scale, full package concrete structure work. We use Neo in our day-to-day operations with labour allocation, scheduling, monitoring plant and equipment, and allocating them to projects as well. And also for daily timesheets and payroll administration. And the site diary function allows us to have a central database where all that information is available. Before using Neo, we predominantly used Excel to schedule and allocate the workforce. The Excel documents were cloud-based shared files. It was painful because the uploading of those files, or the being live, often wasn't as fluid as it is with Neo. Documents might not upload to the cloud, or they're not current enough that someone can see the changes you just made. Often cells get copied or duplicates get made, and then you misallocate or double allocate people. There's too much data to see on one screen. You need to have multiple tabs for multiple days, weeks, etc. And then copying, pasting that information over the journey creates errors and lost information. Every day, managing and scheduling the workforce would take 2 to 3 hours of an afternoon, communicating with site foremen and management within the business to sort of coordinate who went where and how, and then using the Excel data sheet to move those personnel around, and then physically communicating with them all via text message. Miscommunications using text message methodology was impacting the operation by people being misallocated or getting the wrong address or contact information for any given site would ultimately affect productivity. We'd looked into other scheduling software, across the board, just Googled some available products, gone down the road of one particular product and trialed it. Didn't get the satisfaction out of it. It was clunky, tailored more towards a domestic concrete slab placement. It didn't have any of the commercial sort of building world input and didn't really work. So scheduling now is far easier, far simpler, and far more reliable from a data collation perspective. I know the info's there. Staff communications a lot better with the Neo app because the staff have a workforce application which shows them all the relevant information for their project for the day, the site contacts, the relevant drawings or any information there to know about any shift. It's on an easy to use, functional app on their phone. We were handling timesheets and payroll through our accounting software. We were using Xero. All workforce would have we were having to back-end input project names that we would then flag in the back end, manually apply different site allowances and things that were specific to those jobs. But the old way of doing timesheets and payroll had promoted errors like location being wrong or no location at all for tracking purposes. It would always be hard to administer the site-specific rates of pay. Payroll errors generally impact the employee themselves. From an administrative purpose, it's painful because you've got to run separate pay, do separate pay runs for specific people, and it takes often just as much work as it does to run the entire payroll. Staff log their timesheets through the app. It's relatively foolproof. It doesn't create errors in start and finish times, and enables timesheets to be easily submitted on time. So Neo has a back-end EBA interpretation functions that enable the rules to be put into the back end, which recognise the project details and links them to the relevant site conditions. Site allowances are applicable to the project. It streamlines payroll from the software can identify those conditions automatically and not have to rely on human input or error. The Neo integration with Xero simplifies the payroll process from automating the payroll that has the EBA integration directly inputting to Xero. So it removes the human error and data input from payroll personnel We were capturing site evidence by email and text message. Capturing the site evidence in site diaries helps us by collating as much data and photographic evidence, if required, evidence of any site activity to be provided to a client as needed. Without Neo, you wouldn't have, you don't have the ease of the ability to collate that data and the consistency of data to rely on that. I saw the initial demo and thought that, yeah, from the presentation I got, if it did half the things they mentioned, then it was going to solve my problems. The one thing that made me want to use Neo was the central screen, that I could see all projects and all personnel and all plant on one screen and drag and drop them between places, and that it wouldn't duplicate anyone, and that it knew there was only one list of men and one list of gear, and that you couldn't make errors in that process, and it was one visual aid that you could see all. Neo's helped mitigate risks and mistakes due to labour allocation mainly, and personnel going to the right or wrong place on any given day. It enables ease of data communication so that miscommunication is minimised. I'm more confident with payroll being processed correctly these days using Neo. I have confidence in the EBA integration and its communication to Xero, the accounting software.